PodCAst. There we go, I got lyrics for the song. Fuck you. Haha, podcast.
Yeah, no, I think we're chilling.
Cool. Hey guys, welcome to episode 3 of Cut It Out with Josh and Aaron.
Welcome, lads. We have a lot to cover today.
Oh yeah, today's the 1 year anniversary of Kobe.
Very
it's
unfortunate.
Been a whole year without him.
Been a whole year since we went into lockdown because nobody wanted to do anything after Kobe, man.
Like literally everybody stayed in bed for a year.
Yeah, it's crazy. But we're here to better, we're here to kind of keep you guys entertained while we're still recovering from Kobe.
Kobe. They don't laugh. Oh man, we lost everyone.
Damn.
Nobody cares anymore.
No.
I'm going to fall into a depression.
Oh no.
Okay. Well, that's a good idea. That leads us to the topic for this episode. Being sad. This is episode 3. Being.
Let me actually. Where are we at here? I can't remember exactly where we left off on in our last episode.
We were just kind of talking about memories, and we went back in time and had a good little viewing of our past.
Yeah. I remember talking about you. What was it? It was you. You were playing sports.
Yeah.
And you were sitting on the bench or something like that, and your dad wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, I just chilled out for the entire game.
That's fine. But I forget where the cutoff was, because I haven't listened to the audio since we recorded it.
Oh no, you're good, man. I still gotta put it together.
Yeah. But seeing
we
so
were just kind of covering whatever topic 2 was.
Yeah, well, seeing because we didn't. I'm looking at the notes that you left, and what I'm seeing is you wanted to talk about mental shifts throughout your years, correct?
Oh yes.
So what specifically, what mental shift are we talking about? Just kind of a decline of mental health, or are we talking about just how your perception has kind of shifted?
Yeah, perceptions of everything changing, and just the idea of just becoming a different person. Because we can't honestly say who we are when we were kids.
No, absolutely not. No, I mean that's the core. That's the core of developmental psychology. Is you're changing, you're developing. I mean, it's fairly common knowledge now that you aren't fully your brain isn't fully developed until you're 25. So,
really? Does
yeah.
that mean it's over? It's done?
Yeah, it's done, dude. Sorry, you're stuck with this for the rest of your life now. What it means is, because I was actually talking about this recently, is when you're middle school, high school, you have that very a lot of kids have that very ingrained need to fit in, and doing so they kind of have this not identity crisis, but they have a very shaky perception of their own identity because they're trying so hard to fit in. And that's part of the developmental aspect of that age range, psychologically anyway. And once you get past that, and once you become more of an adult, 20, 25, you kind of lose, a lot of people lose that need to fit in and kind of develop who they are more. Not to say like once like once you hit 25 you're stuck with with who you are now or whatever, right? Because it's more how would I explain it? It's more just you being cognizant of
like
both what
self-aware.
Yeah, you're more self-aware. You're more aware of others, and you are more self-aware. And I think that's a big thing. One, for people who are maybe younger and listening to this, I guarantee you are not going to be the person a year from now that you were today. It's just most likely not going to be the case. I don't know if you're into philosophy too much, Aaron. There's a philosopher who he's kind of become a lot more popular now, which is interesting because he was like a philosopher in the 70s, 60s, 70s.
Dude.
And he mainly focused on Eastern ideology, so things like Buddhism and Hinduism and stuff like that, but went to Christian seminary school. But his name's Alan Watts.
I've heard his name before.
Very, very smart man, very, very inspirational to me personally. I love him. But one of my favorite, he does a lot with Zen too, so if you're ever interested in like meditation and Zen, he's very smart with that. But one of my favorite quotes that he has said is, "You are under no obligation to be the person you were 5 minutes ago." Which means you shouldn't have this expectation of a I guess let me reword that.
You don't owe it to yourself to be who you were.
Yeah, well, you don't owe it to yourself to be in a right. Like, if you want to change, then you have every right to change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one of the most important things of developing yourself, especially into your 20s, into your 30s, is that people kind of get into this rut where they're like, well, for example, just like, or people think I'm a shitty person, or, oh, I'm a shitty person, depending on like how you perceive yourself and how you think others perceive you. And rather than being like, well, since I'm this way, might as well just, do it, right? Might as well just, quote unquote, own it. There's always room for you to be better. And I think that's a big thing that a lot of people, I think younger people more so, they kind of fall into that trap where the biggest one I see by far is, bro, I'm just an asshole, that's just my personality, like it's kind of like that mentality of like, it's just who I am.
That's what I've always seen.
Yeah, and
like, I never saw myself being that way, but sometimes I'll just be like, oh man, I'm really not getting any better.
And I think that's bad. I think it's a bad way to look at it, because well, I saw another quote actually. It was as like, as kind of not flip-floppy, but kind of as much as people take Twitter with a grain of salt, I guess is the way to put it, is I saw like a really nice thing, and it was this guy, and he tweeted, and he's like, I was talking to a friend, and I was just telling him I'm like hitting a wall emotionally, right? And what his friend said to him was, sometimes walls are just there for us to sit and rest by, right? It's not like a wall that's stopping you from bettering yourself more. It's a wall to kind of like process, because you can't be constantly, and this is a problem I had for a long time, is you can't constantly be going up and up and up like you're always getting better, because sometimes you'll get worse which is fine, and sometimes you'll stagnate, which is also fine. And the thing is, when either of those things happen, when either you stagnate or you regress a bit, you can't discount like the positives. You can't discount where you've where you've improved and stuff like that, just because you think you took a step back or you're not improving like you should be. And I think that's it's a really, really big thing for a lot of people, is the minute they see they notice that they're kind of like on like not so much like an upward trend, but more of just like a flat like plateau almost. They get discouraged, like I should always be improving. But progress is like a very time consuming process.
It goes both ways.
Yeah, and it's not bad because like even most of the time you're not even necessarily regressing. Most of the time you're just kind of like noticing new things that can be improved on, that you might not have been able to before, just because of like where you were when you were progressing. And that's a really big thing. But it's a to sound cliche, it's a journey, right? It's all about just walking through life.
No, it's a good thing to take into consideration.
Yeah, and I think again, I'm reading your notes and stuff like that, and
that was fucked up.
No, dude, it's good. It's really good. Actually, that you're writing all this stuff out, because
Even the part about rubbing hand sanitizer in there.
No, it's fine, dude. It's good. It's good because in a very like interesting way, you're articulate about what you're feeling, and it helps kind of steer the conversation in a certain way where I can give my feedback and also give my own experiences with this kind of stuff. And I think again, with like the mental shifts throughout the years and stuff like that, it is it's just part of life to kind of change throughout your life.
No, and I've always felt like my shifts were not. I'm not gonna be good or bad, but like as like you grow older, I don't know if you heard something like this, but I would always hear "used to be so happy."
Yeah. No, I think so.
What's to do with that feeling?
Yeah. No, I don't like when people use that, because I've definitely experienced somebody saying that to me, or you used to be so. What was one somebody said to me that kind of fucked me up? It was oh God, what was it? It was something like you used to be fun or something like that,
Fuck.
And I'm like, damn, that kind of sign. This is when I was like 19, 20, and it fucked me up.
You probably were seeing that dude for like an hour or 2 hours, and he just pulls that out.
Yeah, no, I think it was a person in high school, and yeah, they were like, or that I knew in high school rather, and yeah, they were like, you used to be more fun, or what was the other one? There was something like that they said. I can't remember it exactly, cool. Which is weird because it stung so much. You'd think I'd remember, but
oh yeah, man, that's you trying to forget it. I think.
Yeah, fucking repressing it. No, I did because I moved away after high school, and as much as I tried, for like initially to keep a lot of the friends I had in high school. Just when I moved away from my hometown, and when I met new people, and when I kind of got out into the world, again, I had like a, kind of a mental shift of my own where it was, granted I wasn't like in a super good place when I moved out. Um, but it just kind of, I had a shift where it was just like, man, like these people aren't necessarily like the people that I thought they were. Not in a sense that they were like fake, but
Like people you moved away from, like family, or
no, more so like friends, more so friends from high school, the ones that I like considered like kind of close. Um, I just noticed that, I guess, who I thought they were isn't the right way to phrase it. It would be just like I realized that, like in high school, like that need to fit in and stuff. After kind of finding more of who I was, it was, I wasn't meshing with them as well as I did in high school because I was like
you didn't have to be
having,
who you were.
yeah, I was who I was then, rather than pretending to be this person, because I mean, like, I wasn't totally fake, like it,
Oh,
I but it was like I was suppressing a part of myself.
you weren't that person anymore, so you're who you are now.
Yeah, no, it's like, I wasn't the person I was in high school, but also I wasn't letting myself fully express myself when I was in high school. I had to kind of like, not walk on eggshells, but kind of, how would you describe it? Just kind of like hide a piece of who I am.
No, I get you. It's something that I can see people doing. Like I would do it in a way. Like I didn't really care what people thought of me back then, so I probably had a bit more confidence.
Hmm?
But like that's just something that comes and goes. Like you'll change your mind, how you feel. You'll step
Yeah.
backward, step forward. Like I think I've like backed myself into a corner this at this point in my life. Not in a bad way. I mean, yeah, in a bad way. But I can't make contact again with a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh. Um. Interesting.
Back then,
I
I don't even think
I
about it like
honestly
that.
hate making eye contact too.
I
it's
feel like
it's
this post-Kobe society has like done this to everyone involved, because like you just want to keep away ever since that happened.
no, I think, yeah,
At least
uh
like 7 feet apart.
yeah. No, it is like, I don't know, for me, like how we have to like wear masks to like hide the fact that we're always frowning because Kobe's gone. Um uh
Don't
it's
don't
it's
laugh.
it's it's weird.
Don't laugh. You're not allowed to laugh.
Oh fuck. Uh, but no.
Sorry.
uh no, like, where it's weird, wearing the mask gives me like a bit more confidence in a sense, right? I don't know what it is. Maybe I'm just weird, but
I feel it too. The fact that I can just go blah blah blah, like weird mouth moves with my hand
yeah.
with my mouth.
And they can't see you.
Yeah, it's like space balls.
But yeah, no, back to what you were saying about, like having more confidence in, when you quote unquote didn't like really care what people thought about you. I think, and maybe, you can correct me if I'm wrong, maybe it was, not so much more confidence as it was like, a sort of, in a way, like a superiority thing. And not like in the sense that, oh, like, oh, I'm like so much better than these people, but in the sense that it's like, you know maybe it is a bit like confidence, but also it's like,
It's
you
unchecked.
no, not necessarily. Well, maybe, I don't know. But there, like, somewhere like in your head, in your thoughts, it was, to you, not about what other people thought about you. and whether that's kind of like recklessness, because I mean, in a way, people are very social. Just generally, people are social creatures. We are pack animals, um, and in a sense, you need people to like perceive you a certain way, in a positive way more so, just because you know you can't really go through life alone, right?
No, that's true.
um and like if you're going to a fucking job interview, and you're like, I don't give a fuck what this guy interviewing me thinks. Like that's not gonna warrant you a job, obviously. uh and so maybe what that was, back when you had like that like burst of confidence, was maybe like a certain, oh, how would I say it, rejecting people before they reject you.
I think that's what it is. When you
Which
put
is
it that way, it makes a
which
lot of
is
sense to look back and look at my
which is
personality.
okay. It's okay, because I think a lot of people have been there. I've been there,
I mean,
and
I've
I
been there.
definitely had more of an ego about it. I was like, yo, I'm so above these people. I don't fucking care. And I got that way, and this is back when I was kind of in like a really, really bad place. My first bout in college was when I moved away, and because I moved like about like roughly 100 miles away from my hometown, uh, and I was just like, like I still had like all of these people from my hometown on Facebook, and I was like watching them and stuff like that, and like they'd be posting about this, that, or the other thing, and I had this complex where I was just like, I'm so much better than these people
For
that
being out of
did.
it.
Yeah, because I got away, I got out of this, and it was a bad way to look at it. um and I think honestly, in like that anywhere from like, I'm gonna say like 17 to like 20, 21 age range, and this is obviously isn't the case for everybody, but like 17 to 20, 21 age range, um there's a lack of empathy. There's definitely like a lack of empathy for a lot of people, and I had it. I this that was also when I was prime, in my 4chan days.
Oh, no, that's what it does, man. Like
Yeah.
it sucks to admit that there really is not a good thing coming from that place.
No, like there. I mean, like I get memes from there sometimes, but no. I think like honestly, I don't know, chicken or the egg thing, right? I don't know
Oh
if
no.
my kind of almost nihilistic view of people and like the world and stuff caused me to like frequent 4chan more, or if being on 4chan so much gave me like this complex of being like nihilistic and egotistical towards these people that I kind of like grew up with and stuff like that.
I'd say it's more like a chicken tender. You get some egg, you get some chicken, you get some breading to hold it together.
Ooh, I do like me tendies.
I make my own tendies, and I don't share. They're mine. No, I don't know. But no, I see what you're saying. Like, you certainly went back to that place, so I guess it's more of just I see what I like. It helps me see what I want to see, and doing that, you'll probably just go further down that path, saying more and more. Like just the idea of, man, fuck people. Man, this guy is posting videos of people beating the shit out of each other. Fuck people for that. Might as well.
They're posting like fucking World Star and shit.
Oh man, I'm glad I missed out on like videos where people just like brutally murder each other. People are like, "Hey, bro, check this out," but I had the foresight to go, "Nah, I think I'll miss that one."
Oh, is it like fucking like what, like when people were watching ISIS beheadings and shit?
Yeah, before ISIS got good at it, I saw the one where they had the AK-47 driving around, and that was the end of it. You know that one song,
Yeah, the Jihad Nasheed.
the Chipmunk cover of it.
Yeah. Is there a chipmunk cover of
Yeah,
it?
that's the only way I go back to find it. I don't know it, but I used to know the first couple lines.
You know what's interesting about this is way off topic of what we're talking about, but
No, it's good. Let's move from ISIS.
no, actually, well, it doesn't have to do with ISIS specifically, but in strict Muslim communities,
Oh man.
like specifically over in the Middle East, like Saudi Arabia and stuff like that, where they're very strict. Um, it is considered effeminate for a man to play an instrument, so men
What?
don't play instruments over in like Saudi Arabia and stuff like that.
Do they sing? Or is that
Yeah, no,
also
that's what a nasheed is them singing.
okay? So the vocals are okay, but like
Vocals are fine. So, but if you're playing an instrument, you're fucking gay, dude.
that's interesting. I never even.
Yeah, it is very interesting. It's a cool thing. Like, I like learning about like cultures overall, and like it's funny because like I give like every culture a lot of shit, just like kind of as a joke.
No, that's what I did too. It just kind of makes sense to give that to everyone, so it's not
Yeah,
wrong.
but it's not like a nationalistic thing either. I think it's just kind of funny to be like, like, yo, fuck the Scottish or something like that, you know?
No, yeah, man, those guys made Wicker Man. They're scary.
Does Wicker Man take place in Scotland?
I don't know if they straight up call themselves Scotland, but I think it's like in the islands and the territories.
Okay. But yeah, um, kind of shifting back to away from the that topic is yeah, having like that kind of complex of, it kind of like an ego is not healthy. Um, in for you because like it kind of inflates yourself, and like there's like that, everybody's like, stay humble, and most of the time it's kind of cringy. I think there's definitely like, yo man, stay humble, and like, don't fucking post your fucking your ice that you fucking went into debt over, right?
Your fucking jewelry.
Yeah, but there is like some like some good things to like, to that, where it's, you can stay humble, and you can more so, if anything, just like have like more empathy for people, because I think I like I said, I do think a lot of people in that age range kind of lack empathy, whether or not they go on 4chan or whatever. um I think it is
I
because
mean, at the same time, people like that aren't caring about their well-being, so it's kind of hard to like that. I feel like that's probably where they lose the empathy, just because they're not even thinking of themselves in a certain way.
yeah, I think they're thinking about themselves. That's a very, very good observation.
In
Is I
terms
think
of like
they're
taking care of themselves and
yeah, they're thinking about themselves in a very superficial way, but they're not thinking about themselves in like a healthy, I want to be a better person. It's not I want to be a better person, it's I want to be the better person, right? And so I think that's a very like large distinction, is like I don't want to be better for myself, I want to be better than these people.
that's crazy, man. Man, why do we have all these fucking words, dude? I wish we could just get rid of all the words and just put pure emotion in a form.
Shit, dude, maybe once we reach the once Elon Musk uploads our fucking subconscious to the singularity, you know how it is.
Nah, man, we're just still gonna stand around.
Yeah, you're still gonna be fucking smoking flower, dude.
No, I'm just gonna be sitting down on the ground, laying over and closing my eyes and not opening them. They're gonna say they have a copy of me online. I won't know. Unless
Well,
they intend to transfer us metaphysically into something else.
yeah, you can't transfer the soul, dude.
Exactly, bro.
But yeah, the discussion of like, because this is like only like the first like two lines of like what you wrote in the notes, so it's very very interesting that we took up about 30 minutes doing this.
The little dots and blips I wrote. Did you write Rip Kobe?
I did write Rip Kobe.
Okay.
You did not do that in your
Okay.
in your,
I was like,
in
oh
your
man, did I
stupor.
just type all that and then commit back to the joke?
um, Actually, I actually wanted to now because we're kind of over the because that was like the end of episode 2 what I was talking about, but I want to ask you what you mean by falling off or jumping off the wagon.
Oh, I mean, because like, as much as what we actually do, we can't really say we're out of control when we make bad decisions.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We are very much in control of our decisions to an extent. I mean, if you do have very real unchecked mental illness, for example, borderline personality disorder, or bipolar disorder, it can be hard to know when you're in the right state of mind, if that makes sense.
Like, I feel like if I'm not doing things correctly right now, that could be a problem later on. So that's why
Oh,
I'm
so
trying
so
to
you're
take things more
you're think
seriously.
you're thinking about like the future, like what I'm doing now and how that's gonna fuck me up later on in the future.
Yo, exactly, because like, you go back and start reminiscing the past, and you're like, oh wait, that sounds like something I'd be going through right now. Like
Yeah.
just like how things feel, things that happen, things you do in response to things that happen.
Yeah. All right.
Like you're just
Let me take a quick 30-second break. I gotta pee. I've been chugging water.
cool. Josh is going to pee. I'm gonna turn on this flower vape so I can get this lavender going up in the air. It's supposed to be relaxing, but it smells kind of gross. But I spent money on a flower vaporizer, so let's, I don't know, vaporize this lavender. Now that I have you here, everybody, have you tried breathing? I've started breathing and I feel a lot better. Not much better, but I feel a lot better. Here we go. Get your tummy going. Breathe some more. Try and get that spot above the tummy, maybe more in the chest cavity. I don't know. And then you breathe out through your mouth, like that. I was told you could do it with an O, and I guess the idea is like by breathing out in different ways, your lungs can do exercises. I'm not a smart person. I just do what smart people tell me to do. Because, we're all just kind of walking. Hey, man, what's up? I'm talking to the fans.
Right on.
How you liking episode 3, fans? Leave a comment.
No, I think this is honestly. I think this is a little bit of a more. I think it helps that I'm also looking at the notes, but I think this is a more of like a. What would you call it? Like a more directed episode. It's got like a kind of a direction to it, more than just kind of just like talking about, kind of whatever
Things that come
in
to
the
mind.
in the last video, but I think so. Going back to like falling off the wagon and stuff like that. So I kind of cut you off in the middle of your explanation. So say again, like what you mean by like jumping off the wagon, I guess, instead of falling off.
Well, because like actions that we do, things that we do, thoughts we take, they're just more justifications to do what we already want to do. So when I say jumping or getting off the wagon, it's more of just a conscious decision and go into my base bag, grab that shit, and take it out and do what I do.
So is jumping off? Because when I hear something like falling off the wagon, I think of it in a negative connotation, where it's like, I fell off the wagon and got back into drugs, or something like that, right? Is that what you're referring to, like jumping off the wagon in terms of we're consciously sabotaging ourselves?
Yes, because I mean, like, it's not really like a chemical pull. I mean, it is chemical, like very much so. But just the like it's a decision to go grab the stuff to do it to yourself.
Yeah.
It's a
Okay.
decision to buy it. It's a decision to hide it. It's a decision to go
Okay.
through with it.
Okay. Okay. I see. I see. I see.
I could throw it
Um,
away, but I haven't done that.
you know, if we wanna talk about that, um, and we can cut this little part out now if you don't
Shut
want
it
it out there.
out. No, I don't mind you putting it out there.
No, no, no. I mean,
Like,
like, if you want to talk about like like your own self harm and stuff like that, if that's okay, because I have kind of like my own thoughts on the general idea of self harm and stuff like that. But if you don't want to like make it like kind of public that you do self harm, we can cut that from the podcast.
no, we can do it. Now, the point of this thing is to come out and not be who I was.
Okay, then we'll leave all that in and just kind of. But yeah. So when it comes to specifically self harm, and this has been obviously proven, and there's people do when they self harm get a rush of endorphins, which is why they do self harm. Because in a way it feels good. It's a way of, I assume, if you grew up similar to how I did, in the sense of were you and your family close? Let me ask you that first. Were you and your family close? Like you, your mom, your siblings, your dad, whatever. Were you like emotionally close?
Growing up, it was something I never really gave much thought, but where I am now,
Okay.
I think there's like certainly like not examples, but they're just like signs or like things I do in my behavior that would imply it. Like if
What do you
someone
mean?
were to come up to give me a hug in public, which has happened before, I would like pull back,
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
and like
Awesome.
that's kind of weird. And if anyone would put their hands on me, I kind of like pull back too. Like
What if
like
I what
it's
what if
not
I
me
like
going, "Ah, don't
fondled
touch
you?
me."
You know?
Huh?
What if I like fondled you? Would that be cool?
I think that would be okay, but
Yeah,
like friendly gestures are just
yeah,
things
yeah.
that would do that. I was thinking about this just yesterday or just 2 days ago. There was this guy we called Esther the Molester, Charles. No, don't say his name. Fuck. There was this dude called fuck. Never mind. There was this kid, and when we were younger, we would make fun of him because he would act funny, but it wouldn't be unwarranted in our eyes because he would put his hands on me, and I wouldn't want hands on me.
Did you ever? This isn't justifying, but did you ever make it like?
I never put my hands on him at all.
No, 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 no. What I'm saying is, did you make it? Did you make it known to him that you're like, hey, don't fucking touch me?
Yeah, like right after I did.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And would he keep doing it?
I think so, but
Yeah.
I don't know if we were. I think looking back, I think we like hung out during lunchtime or recess. I don't think I really remember having an actual class with him.
So he would just like come and fucking feel you up in like lunchtime.
Yeah, and I never really liked it. So at the same time, I don't really know what to do.
Yeah. And how old were you when this was taking place?
I feel like it was maybe like under third grade, like before third
Oh, so
grade.
you were kids. Okay, yeah, no worries. Um, you didn't have a class with him because he was a custodian. He was like 45.
He was just really, 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 really small.
Yeah, yeah. No. So yeah.
That's
So I don't
worse.
know. Again, like we can get into like how you were with like in terms of your family and stuff like that. But from that story and my own personal experiences, I'm gonna kind of make an assumption that you weren't able to really voice how you felt to people within your family. Like anytime you were to voice like, hey, I'm upset, not necessarily sad, but like, say like your brother was like, going back to I don't remember which episode it was, first or second, where you oops, there's a beeping.
Oh yeah, that's my flower thing. It just finished some lavender.
Um, but like going back to whichever episode it was where your your brother was like punching you or whatever
Oh yeah,
it was.
the second episode of the Cut It Out podcast with Josh and Aaron.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
Critically acclaimed.
was it were you not able to be like, hey,
Don't hit me
obviously,
in the head.
hey, don't fucking hit me, but also like if you were to like tell your parents or whatever, like, hey, like whatever my fucking brother's name is hitting me, and I don't like it, it would be met almost with like scorn, right? It would be met with kind of like either brushed off, or it would be like, kind of like toughen up.
Honestly, I'm pretty sure it would have got him spanked, but at the same time, I never even told them now.
Yeah.
I figured what
Okay.
would be the point in telling them now? He's grown up. I'm grown up.
Yeah. Maybe kind of address that with him if you
I'm
feel.
good. I'll just do it
I mean-
again.
I have a feeling you're bigger than him now, dude. Aren't you like 6'3" or something?
Now I'm like 6'1", and I am taller than him, but at the same time,
You got the intimidation factor, dude.
Nah, I bet he could beat me up anyway. I'm not the kind of person that would hit he was.
Okay, well, let me offer a not so specific example then. So say you were upset, maybe something with like, what like somebody like one of your parents did or something like that, not necessarily anything terrible, but just anything, and you couldn't really convey that you disapproved of something that they did.
Well, there was this one time we were pulling up the rug in my old room,
Mm-hmm.
and there was like a shitload of roaches under the floor and in the walls right by the rug. And because of that, I was like, oh man, I really don't like roaches because I'm just a kid and I'm afraid of roaches, so I was crying.
Yeah.
My mom was like yelling at me to get over it.
Yep. So
I
that's a
think
good
that was just,
example.
like stress on the situation that was already pretty bad.
Yeah. I think that's a good example though. So very like somewhat similar to my childhood, where I was very not very, but like it was, my family didn't express emotion well, and they didn't receive expression of emotion very well. It was all very almost like I've described it as like professional, where I never developed this closeness with my family because there was just like emotional inhibition, where there was like I described it as like there's just like some sort of wall that they don't let down, and like you only get so close to even like my mom and dad. And I think you kind of grew up similar to that. And I think it's a lot more common than people think.
I mean, I was an asshole kid. Like, I deserved everything that happened to me.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's very much like a nurture thing. I don't think you were born a bad kid. I think because of stuff like this, and because of other things, you felt neglect, and the only way you would feel, like even anything, is to act out. And this is the thing with like a lot of people, is they act out just to get that even negative reaction out of people, because it's a reaction, and this circles back into self-harm, where you have like these emotions that are bottled up, these emotions that are that you feel you can't express. And a lot of people say that like any form of self-harm is like a release of these emotions. it's like either if it's like, like if you're cutting yourself. I knew a person who they would punch themselves in the face
Oh man, that
and
takes me back.
leave bruises and stuff like that, and they might have at one point fractured their face because of just like how hard they would punch themselves and that kind of stuff. Um, same kind of thing though, where they would it's like it's a release. It releases the endorphins, but also it's kind of like the only way that these people know how to process emotions. And I think it's something you have to be very cognizant of when you're emotionally inhibiting yourself, because I do it. I still do it, even how would I describe it? Like small stuff, even like if my partner were to not take out the trash or something like that, and it like upset me, or annoyed me, rather than being like, hey, can you take out the trash, or hey, you should have taken out the trash if you saw that it was full. I hold that in because it's it in my mind
It doesn't
would
feel like it could lead to anything nice.
Yeah, exactly. It would lead to maybe an argument, and this falls into we've kind of touched on cognitive behavioral therapy. Obviously, that's kind of what this whole podcast is about.
Is what I hope to make it.
Yeah. And one of they teach you in cognitive behavioral therapy. They teach you things to look for called core beliefs and cognitive distortions. And this specifically falls into a core belief that is approval seeking, or I'm unlovable, or incapable of being loved, that kind of thing. But so the approval seeking part of your brain is like, well, if I bring this up, they'll be mad at me, or they'll be upset, and I don't want them to be upset, because then they'll feel like, or they'll have like a negative perception of me, right? And that's a big thing. Like, I know you live with do you live with more than one roommate, or is it just one roommate?
Oh, it's just one.
Yeah, so, say your roommate fucking, like, leaves his dishes in the sink or whatever, and, fucking so long it starts to mold or whatever, right? Rather than, saying, yo, this is, you shouldn't fucking do this, or like, like in a more civil manner, just be like, yo, dude, like, just please, can you do your dishes? Rather than doing that, you hold it in, or more so you do the dishes, just to avoid that conflict, just to avoid them disapproving of you in some way. And that's a thing that a lot of people with emotional inhibition, like histories of emotional inhibition, deal with. And it's something that you have to be very, very conscious about, because like I said, I've struggled with this obviously for years. I'm very much a person to avoid conflict.
Because conflict hurts.
Because conflict is physically, conflict can be scary. If you growing up with your brother fucking kicking the shit out of you, me with anytime there was conflict between my parents, it would lead to like just a serious argument, and I'd be like, in my room with like my brother, and we'd just be like trying to ignore it. Have you ever seen the fucking it's like an older video, but it's the kid, and he's like, I whip a nay while my parents fight in the next room.
Oh, and he's just kind of like dancing in front of the kid. I think I might have seen it.
Yeah, he's like, and he like at the end he like starts crying. I think it's staged, but it's funny. But that's kind of like the parallel I draw is
I remember there was one where a guy was like dancing in front of his sister on the phone getting broken up with because she got caught cheating.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
But yeah, like that's kind of like what I draw the parallel to. I remember like my parents would fight, and my little brother and I would go into, because we shared a bedroom at the time, and my little brother and I would go into the bedroom, and we'd just play Mario Kart to try to ignore it. Or we'd play like Super Smash Brothers or something and try to ignore it.
Oh, sick! That's why you're so good at Smash.
Yeah, because I just channel all the fucking all the stress into getting really good at Smash. No, but yeah, so it's a lot of times, more times than not, it does come from experiences in your childhood that have led to like being conflict, like having an aversion to conflict. And I think a big thing is knowing that like you can't let the anxiety of the what if kind of dictate, like, like what if what if my fucking roommate like wants to throw hands or whatever, which honestly is like not super reasonable most of the time.
It's irrational fear.
Yeah. And but that's kind of like what your what anxiety does. It builds on itself, and kind of it compounds to the point where you just get like so worried about doing that kind of stuff. But the other side of that is having like it can be very fruitful to have like a discussion about about anything that's like bothering you that like is the result of somebody else, right? That's kind of like how you develop
like just
stronger relationships.
Entirely unrelated to the situation, just something completely in the past.
Yeah, no, if you feel like things in the past are bothering you, then absolutely, let me rephrase that. If you feel like things in the past have had an effect on how you are currently, then it is very justifiable to bring it up, no matter how the other person reacts to it, because you have a right to self-autonomy, right? You have a right to autonomy. You have a right to feel how you feel, and feelings. It's weird because I'm generally like a very like the quote unquote logical person, and obviously feelings are anything but logical. But you do have a right to feel how you're feeling, whether it is rational or not, and a lot of times feelings are irrational. But if there is something that you think was affecting you, like your brother punching you when you were a kid, and that being a result of or that resulting in something that's how you feel now, it is if not address it directly with him.
No, it's cool.
I guess
put it in the podcast. That means it'll be good. That means it'll leave my body.
Yeah. Well, I think in a way, again, I think a big first step is acknowledging that it did affect you, because a lot of people will go like that step of oh, it happened in the past. I shouldn't be upset about it now, right?
Right. That's how I feel. But you just get hang up, and you're just like, oh, it's still not leaving my mouth. It's still not leaving my thoughts.
Yeah, and that's like a signal that it's like a bigger issue, I think. Because honestly, especially developmentally, little things can kind of affect how you grow up and how you feel growing up. because how would I phrase it? I mean, it's just like little like micro things that you don't think about. But I can't think of a personal example myself, but I know like I have several where it's like I just noticed something and it kind of like shifted how I approached certain things, right?
Oh, it affected your decision making.
Yeah, exactly. It there even like little things can very much affect how you perceive things when you're growing up.
Shit. I'll just need to be more conscious of not getting hit in the head, I think.
Yeah, just fucking learn how to box and then just dodge, dude.
So that way, if a person ever comes up to me and I get the feeling that it can go somewhere, I can take the offensive in the lead and just be the first one.
Yeah. Just like if somebody comes up to you, just like preemptively punch them.
I'd be like, "Hey, you're taller than me. I don't like that."
Yeah. But yeah. Again, that falls into like a kind of a
like it does
thing that
put a lot more light on self-harm and why I'm the one
doing
it.
Well, I think another thing is you have to how would I say it? It could be you're punishing yourself for having those feelings. Right? Could also be that.
That makes more sense.
I mean, it can be a lot of things, and I think struggling with like that little bit of inability to act. How would I say it? To outwardly express how you're feeling is it's really hard to deal with.
No, sometimes I feel like I lose friends if I try and talk to anyone.
What was that?
Sometimes
Sorry.
I feel like I lose friends if I try and talk to anyone. Like you'll just see them on care, you'll see them step back, but you can tell that it's just not going to be a thing for them to be worried about because it's not their business. It's not my business to tell them.
Yeah, like you have like a feeling like they're uncomfortable almost.
Yeah, because I mean, like realistically, like you don't want anyone to come into your life and ruin the vibes. So why are you gonna let a friend do it?
I think the phrasing is kind of funny, but I think
is that cognitive distortion?
It's a cognitive distortion of mind reading. You are putting words into people's mouths. You are putting thoughts into their heads that may well not be there, right? You have a perception of people that you think, right? Like if you were to talk to me, and you came to me one day and you're like, "Yo, dude, I'm really not doing well," or you thought about, we'll say not you haven't even come to me yet. We'll say you're thinking about coming to me, and you're like, well, if I come to him about this, I don't want to ruin his vibes, right? I don't want to like, depress him, or I don't want to stress him out, or whatever it is. And that's not a good way to like approach how you're feeling. Like again, people are people, right? They have consciousness, they have free will. Unless you don't believe they have free will, but we'll say in this case you believe that, and it's not a simulation run by some dude that's just playing The Sims. I have every ability and every right to be like, yo, Aaron, like, I don't want to hear about this or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. But that doesn't stop you from, because you also have the right to be like, yo, I'm not doing good. So I think, and this is kind of like me, a little bit projecting because this is how I am, is I don't want people to feel obligated to help me, right? I like, so if I come to you and I'm like, or if I'm thinking about coming to you and I'm like, yo, like Aaron, I'm not doing well, whatever, and I have like this kind of thing where it's like, well, I don't want Aaron to be obligated to like talk me through it if he doesn't want to, and so you have to trust that people will say, hey, I don't want to hear about this if they don't want to hear about this. But more often than not, if people do care about you and people are your like legitimate friends, they will not like, they won't hesitate to like talk you through shit. And that's a big thing. It's like, you know, like this podcast, for example, like I'm, you know, I'm not sitting here under any obligation. Like I'm not sitting here like, oh, I don't want to do this fucking podcast. But like, if I don't, you know, like, you know, Aaron's gonna like feel like shit and like get progressively worse. Like I want to do this. I want to do this podcast because I I know both because I kind of off topic. I've been kind of like kicking around in my own head like what kind of podcast this is, right? I wouldn't say it's quite like it's not a self-help podcast. I wouldn't say that because we're not out here giving advice to people. If anything,
we're telling them not to do the bad shit.
Well, yeah, we're telling them not to do like the bad shit, but also I think, at least for me, it's good to hear somebody else kind of articulate how they're feeling, and if I relate to those people, it's kind of like an outside perspective. Like, oh, I never really saw it that way, but like seeing them struggle with something and listening to that and thinking how I can, like, how they can fix it, like me thinking how they can fix it is a way I can fix it for myself, if that makes sense. So in terms of like what this podcast is, I think it's an open dialogue. It's not a self-help podcast, but it's an open dialogue to two people on different levels of trying to improve themselves. And I think it's a good, it kind of sets a perspective for people that, I think we mentioned this in the very first episode, where like, you know, a big thing is noticing that you're not alone, right? And that like people have like these thoughts like a lot of the time, and like it's a lot more common than people think. But yeah, it's just like I think for us it's not like it's a journey into our own trying to improve ourselves, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It'll be something to keep our eyes on.
Yeah, but and again, maybe a way to phrase it would be like an introspective podcast. It causes you to kind of look at yourself in a different way.
Oh yeah, I've started had a lot more like better thoughts now that I've started.
Yeah, that's good.
On this project.
That's awesome. And that's really good to hear. And I think because I've kind of like gone off on like a tangent about the podcast and stuff like that. From what we were talking about. We
gotta lower people's defenses.
Mm-hmm.
Get on that.
Yeah.
Get on that saved video list.
Yeah. No, I hope once like these episodes kind of go out, that people will listen to it. I'm not crazy about getting like a fan base or anything like that, but I do think if it somehow like gets out there and kind of like blows up, I'd be like very happy to hear that, like at the very least it like changed people's perspectives of either other people or themselves.
I'd like to do that because I mean, like we're older than some people, but not by much. But in that little bit of time, a lot can happen. I don't
Yeah,
want to.
absolutely.
I don't want a person to go down a bad way if they don't have to. Because you know the band Teen Suicide.
Yeah.
I got worse after finding that band. A lot worse.
um,
Just because it was so enjoyable.
it's funny. Because I found that band also when I was in like a bad place. And I found a lot of that emo lo-fi, the very like depressive music when I was in like a low place, and it did like kind of I wouldn't say it made my situation worse, but it reinforced certain feelings that I had, which isn't good. I'm not gonna fucking come out. I'm not gonna say like certain types of music are problematic or whatever. I don't fucking
No,
I
I
don't
think
play
it
that.
is looking
I don't play
back
that
now.
shit. I think
Like sometimes music isn't what you need. Is probably a better way to put it.
yeah, but I think because like I'm these people that make the music. I'm gonna kind of generalize here because I think every person is different. But to generalize, I think like the people that make the music, for example, I'm gonna use Modern Baseball as an example because they're one of my favorite bands.
Mm.
Um, and that's kind of their way to get how they're feeling out there, and kind of maybe that's kind of like their kind of it's an emotional outlet. I watched a short doc. It's like a 20-minute documentary about
Nate the Punk.
I don't know what it was. It was a short documentary. It was like a 25 minute documentary about modern baseball, and kind of like Brendan Lucan, who is the lead singer, his struggles with mental illness, and he was close to attempting suicide. And that kind of led into this whole thing about him finding out he was like bipolar and all this stuff.
Well, just because like he would put himself in the room with it.
Well, he would because I'm trying to remember like kind of exactly what would happen. But he would have like really really low points, where like other than like the suicide attempt, he would just sit in his apartment for literally days, and like not go out, and like all he would do would be like smoking pot, and like I don't think he would even eat for days at a time and stuff like that. And he would just get into like really low points, and then like he'd have like points where he would be like really good, like he'd go on tour and stuff like that, or like they'd go and they record and that kind of stuff. But again, kind of going off on a tangent, but I think I'm not going to say that those bands and those like the music and stuff is problematic. I think
No, I wouldn't say modern baseball has any bad stuff to it. It feels like it's pretty
no.
good for people.
Well, there are times where it's like it's a very like, and Slaughter Beach Dog, which is their which is like the project
Is that
of
Oh, it's a different. It's not the band.
no, it's the side project of the other vocalist, and I can't remember his name right now.
Oh, the guy with the beard from your graduation.
Yeah, the guy that's like the skinnier guy who's like got like the beard and the glasses. I'm sorry to do that to you, Brendan. God, what the fuck is it? Jake was his name. But yeah, the tall guy. It's his side project, or I guess it's his like main project now. I think because modern baseball kind of fell apart, because I don't think Brendan is really feeling like going back into music right now. But yeah, anyway, stuff like that, even like shit like teen suicide, where it's an outlet. It's an outlet for the artist to feel a certain way, or to get their feelings out there more so. And I think the big thing is people do relate to the music, like you and I do relate to the music and stuff like that. And I think it can be the case where people go into these holes of
just something to be for a couple months at a time.
Yeah, like it's so I think sulking is kind of a bad word for it.
Because that's what it looks like from an outsider, right?
Yeah, and it's not, because obviously I've been in the situation, and it's not sulking so much. It's just like kind of I think like the best way to describe it would be just like digging a deeper hole, being like, yeah, this this music is how I feel, and I guess the way it would be like relating to the music in a negative way. It would be relating to the music in a way that, rather than like being like, yeah, this is how I am, I need to get out of this hole, is yeah, this is how I am, and this person feels like I do, so so rather than work on it, I just kind of keep in this like bad headspace, because again, like people try to find ways to relate, and I hope a lot of people relate to this podcast in a positive sense, but people do find ways to try to relate to something, like try to relate to their feeling to something, to like anything, just to kind of have like that feeling of not being alone through it. But it is like a very easy thing to, rather than relate and being like, okay, I'm not alone, and I can get through it. It's okay, I'm not alone, and I don't have to get through it. But that's just kind of my take on that.
I see what you mean. Just fuck.
I know I talk a lot. I think this like 90% of this podcast has been me like kind of like,
no, this is really good. I felt like I was talking too much last episode, so I feel like it'll just be a natural thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, it balances out. I've also, okay, so this is way off topic, but I've also been taking I was recently officially diagnosed with ADHD.
Oh, congratulations, bro.
Yeah. So I have an excuse now. No, so I've been taking ADHD medication recently, and it's been helping me a lot. It's been it's given me like a lot of clarity. Not in like clarity in like a spiritual sense, but clarity in like just like in a pure like cognitive sense, where I can collect my thoughts and I can focus on what I want to focus on. And it's a really, really good feeling, to be able to, like, for example, focus like so much on this podcast and not, be distracted by other things, or like, I know I kind of still go off on tangents and stuff like that, but it's a lot more, I guess, kind of organized is the way I'd put it, and I'm not constantly losing track of the conversation.
Oh, I know what you... Shit, I think I got ADHD.
Damn, dude, you want some fucking diet meth?
Yeah, man, let me walk over real quick.
No, dude, it's okay. We're in the same room. We're at this table together.
Right. Thanks for letting me have some ADHD medicine. I feel great.
It's funny though, because like ADHD meds, they are like I'm sure you've heard about people like experimenting with shit like Adderall or like Ritalin and stuff like that, like people just like, snorting Adderall and shit. But the thing that is, if you do have ADHD, shit like Adderall and what I'm taking, which is Vyvanse,
Oh,
Um,
I mean, what is Vyvanse?
well, you know how it's like basic. It is like diet meth, basically. It's like an amphetamine. But the weirdest thing is being on an amphetamine and being chill, being just like super chill.
Conscious,
Uh,
articulate.
Very, yeah, it's like it's weird being articulate. It's weird being chill. It's weird not like having your brain go a million miles a minute and just like kind of hanging out while still being able to kind of focus on shit and well, not sorry, not, and still being able
To know exactly what you want to do.
yeah, but yeah, that's just like a little thing.
I've tried Vyvanse before. I was very clear-headed, actually. I was able to talk as much as I wanted to without feeling inadequate in my speech.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. You probably didn't have a prescription. I'm not gonna say here nor there. That's not my fault. I'm not a fucking narc. But
Shit, would I get in trouble for saying it?
no,
All right,
I don't think so.
I don't think I did anything wrong. Because if anything, if I have ADHD, that helped me. So
Yeah, no, if
it's
like
all good.
no, if you think it helped, I'd say go through like the legal way of procuring.
Well, I have to be a citizen, right? I mean, I have to. Shit. What does that imply? I have to have medical insurance or something?
Oh, do you not have medical insurance?
I'm under families, but that's the last year I'm gonna have it.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm supposed to get
if you
one more time if I'm lucky, but I don't think so.
if you have the insurance, I don't know how long you have the insurance for, but definitely and I don't know, again, I don't know how much it covers, but definitely look into it. Look into seeing either a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner or a psychiatrist.
Oh man, I don't think I can afford that.
It depends. Like, if you've had to go to like the doctor for something, how much have you had to like pay? Was it like an ungodly
It
amount?
would be like $20, but I think there's
Oh,
been a
yeah.
different insurance since then.
Oh, well, I don't know if you have like an insurance card or anything like that. But look at that. It'll usually tell you like what you have to pay for doctor's visits and stuff.
The copay.
Yeah. But yeah, I recommend possibly getting a diagnosis. Same thing with I know Texas is like a little bit different than up north. But the state here requires you to have access to mental health as like it doesn't like
But like no matter what.
it doesn't pay for it. It's weird. It doesn't pay for it, but having access to like a mental health professional is considered a need in my state. So, same with it's weird because like they also consider having a dentist to be like a need that needs to be met.
Oh, they say our teeth health is our mouth health is very important too.
Yeah,
Like supposed to be like super important, like all that.
And I still don't have a dentist mostly because I'm fucking lazy and like every dentist around here fucking books like 5 months out.
Oh, because of everything.
So yeah, because of everything and because like I guess there's kind of like a shortage of dentists around here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So like a lot of them like either aren't accepting new patients or they're booking like half a year out. Anyway, back to I would suggest I suggest this to everybody who has the accessibility to it. Try therapy. I would definitely try therapy if you have like health insurance that covers it. A lot of a lot of health insurances will have like a copay for it, but do cover a significant amount of it. But yeah, I do recommend that to anybody. If that's like one thing that I can drill into somebody's mind, is that therapy is like, and I know like a lot of people have have kind of like this negative view of therapy, but it is like a very big help to a lot of people, me included. And I think it's very good to have to prioritize your mental health.
I
mean, like
but the money
dude,
thing
it's
is an issue. I got to a point where I thought, well, one friend had an attempt and he got therapy, and then I just put that thought down because I don't want to go down that way.
Don't wait until then to try therapy at the very least. I think there are it's been getting a lot better these last 5-10 years, the negative connotation towards therapy.
Well, yeah, I never personally felt guilty about the idea.
See, I had the notion, the don't do therapy, you're weak if you do therapy. Like at myself more than other people. Like I wouldn't really judge other people for going to therapy, but for myself, it was like, if I can't do it alone, I'm weak. And that's been the case for like generations, and only recently have we kind of started to get through that. But yeah, no, again, like if there is one takeaway in this 18 season podcast, it's to definitely if you have the wherewithal and you have the ability to seek out therapy and try it for yourself a bit, because it's not going to be how would you say it? It's not going to be like you go for 1 or 2 sessions and you're a new person. But
well, yeah, I was told
I think
it was like layers, like in the fucking Shrek movie.
I think if you want me to be 100% honest with you specifically,
yes, please.
I think you having this, the silver lining to you having this negative perception of yourself, this almost, and I don't mean to be so blunt, but this almost self-hatred.
No, that's what it is, bro. It turned from depression to this long ago.
Yeah. You will not have a particularly hard time hearing what needs to be said. It's how you're going to take it, I guess. Because you are like a good therapist, and this is on you as well, is if you want to have like a good therapy session, or like a good experience with therapy, I think is a better way to phrase it, you have to get into the nitty gritty. You have to get into the stuff that will make you uncomfortable.
It'll make me nervous. It'll make me scared.
Yeah, and a big thing on your end is how to take what your therapist will tell you. And sometimes therapists are very good about not tiptoeing around it, but like kind of easing you into what you need to be doing. And another thing is, if you don't like your therapist, don't immediately be like, oh well, therapy doesn't work for me, because sometimes you have to find the right person. But again, a good thing about you having like this this self-hatred, the silver lining to it, is that you do not sugarcoat it for yourself. you will be you are brutally honest with yourself, maybe too much, to a point where you like there is a bit of like you beating yourself up a little too much about things that aren't your fault, and that aren't something that necessarily deserve like a negative connotation or a negative like reaction to. But you are like in certain ways you're very good at being introspective to a point where you realize that something is wrong, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense to me. I get what you're saying.
And it is the silver lining to the self-hatred. And it's good, I think, that you are I think this podcast is a very good step as well. I think this is a very good step for you being open to changing yourself, because you don't have the mentality of like what a lot of people in similar situations have, which is I'm not able to be saved, or I'm not worth saving. I think even if it's like subconscious, even if like you yourself are thinking right now like I'm not worth it, I think having this podcast and having reached out to me has like signified that you yourself believe you can be fixed, and you yourself believe that this is no way for a person to go about existing.
Oh man, that's true.
Yeah, and if I can be how would I phrase it?
You can say it however you want, even if it sounds like
no. Yeah, okay, so fair, but I guess I want to say this from like the deepest part of myself is I love you, dude. You are a good friend, and you are like a funny dude, and you're a fun dude to hang out with, and I think that is what you need to realize, is that you are indeed a person that one deserves to be a better person, and to a person that deserves a certain, like, people that care about you as much as you want to care about them.
Oh, thanks, man. Thanks, man. I'm really happy to hear that. I'm really glad we're buddies, and I love you too.
And I know correct me if I'm wrong, the tone in your voice, that made you uncomfortable, didn't it?
No, I mean, maybe a little bit, but it's something I'm really happy to hear.
Yeah, I'm glad you're happy to hear it, because I know if I heard that, I would also not so, maybe it's not so much uncomfortable. You don't quite know how to take it, because I'm the same way. Like, if somebody compliments me and if somebody says something really nice, I'm like, wait, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? But yeah, no, I think it is very good that you are taking this. I'll call the podcast even an initial step into bettering yourself, and so I think that's a really good start.
No, it's really good.
But man, we've been going for an hour and a half now.
Hell yeah, it'll be a fat episode. This is gonna be what the fans want.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to say
now.
I think,
yeah. I mean, we've been going for a while, so maybe we could end it.
Yeah,
I think we could end it here and pick it up at a later time, probably sometime next week.
Yeah, we can yeah, that's a good idea. We could touch on the end of this episode and begin episode 4 with some stuff on there.
Yeah. Yeah, because let's see, where are we at? We kind of stuck loosely to the
I didn't really
to what
talk about
what you wrote down.
But I mean, honestly, it's kind of dark.
I mean, it's I don't think we. if you want to, we can go into that.
No, we can go into it for a minute. I mean, who's gonna sit all the way through 1 hour and 30? This way we can like
well,
get it or have it apart.
I think if I'm being honest, I think it's not so much because I think you getting it out here on the notes more so is good. I think a lot of it doesn't really need to be gone into too much as far as that, as far as like the specifics, because I think the big takeaway is the act itself, as in like the self-harm. I don't think it's quite necessary. Again, if you want to,
No, I mean,
we
like,
can talk about
like,
it. It is
covered it. People don't need to know.
People don't need to know specifics,
Yeah.
more so if you want like that level of discretion. And also it won't add or take away anything if we leave it out, but the overall message of like what self-harm is, and like the kind of your personal root of the self-harm is kind of more so what we should focus on.
Yeah.
if I'm thinking about it. But
That makes sense. The problem itself, not things that.
yeah, I think it's kind of funny, the episode, or episode 4 title, kind of that whole like little bulleted points right there above it kind of fall into that, right?
Oh, coping mechanisms
Kind of fall.
and extremely
Yeah.
damaging thoughts, episode 4.
Yeah. I think what you wrote prior to that, all of that is a coping mechanism. I think it is again, it's a way to get it out there. This itself, let me highlight it, because I see. Are you looking at the document right now?
I'm looking at the exact same part.
Yeah. So that little bit right there is you not self-harming, but instead writing it down. And that is in itself a better coping mechanism, obviously, than self-harm. Even if you had already done this, like obviously in this case you had already done the self-harm, but if you were in this dark place, this is like a step into helping yourself and like getting yourself out there, and rather than how would I say it? Rather than again inhibiting yourself emotionally, you write it down. It's kind of like the same thing as kind of like having a journal, where you kind of like, you write down your thoughts and how you're feeling and stuff like that. It's a way to express yourself. And whether it would be just you reading this, or whether it would be you and I reading this, it is a way it is you coping, and it's a healthier method of coping. We'll say that much. Because I think in terms of this is going to go on for way too long, but coping mechanism has somewhat of a negative connotation, but there are healthy coping mechanisms, and we can talk about that a bit in the next episode. But I wanna kind of get that out there for you, and for people watching when this episode airs, is coping mechanism isn't a negative thing. It is simply a thing, and there can be good and bad coping mechanisms, and it is about finding a healthy coping mechanism that works for you. But yeah, this seems to be one that kind of works for you, Aaron, is writing it down. And as well as, obviously, I think this podcast is also a good way for you to kind of have that as well. like air your if not your grievances, just kind of air your thoughts.
No, it's good. I promise that we'll be having more episodes. The plan initially was to have it be a set ending, and I think that's still the case.
Yeah,
but
I think it's
it.
just it's just about how long it takes us to get to the end, I guess.
Yeah, because I already have a plan for the ending. I'm not gonna kill myself, but I have a plan for it.
I would hope not. That would
Bro, the ending's
not
gonna
only
be
be oh shit. I was gonna say I would hope, like, you know, with that that would not only make me very, very upset, but also
oh no, I'm sorry, Josh. I would have just brought you into this also, without even really giving it much thought towards that.
That would also be
oh no, never.
That would also be like that would also be like, you know, like an entire, like, it would nullify the entire podcast, I think.
Bro, I would never do that to you. That'd be fucking awful.
Yeah, that would. Oh man.
Oh man, now I can't do it at all.
Oh man, I'm scrolling down now. I'm seeing the musical. We got to do it.
All these songs. A song for each episode.
Yeah, but I think we're gonna end it here, unless you wanna have like some closing thoughts. Because I've definitely talked enough.
No, that was real good. I'm glad that I was able to take a seat and hear other perspectives. Because I'm not really doing that in my personal day-to-day life. Because it's really hard to just go to a friend. I feel like with you and me, we've known each other for a long time.
Yeah, no, it's been, well, I mean, like, obviously not as long as you've known like some of the other guys for, but yeah, no, it's been like I think it's been like 4 years about
at this point.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, no, it's and yeah, like I said, you can usually come to me about that kind of shit too, but
no, thanks, man. If you ever want to come to me, you can come to me. I don't know what I'll do, but
hey man,
I do acknowledge that I'm good at fighting the good and the bad.
Yeah, I think if anything, if I were to come to you, and even if you don't know what to do, I think a good thing is to just again, us being kind of similar in inhibiting our emotions, just being able to talk about it kind of helps. Being able to kind of say what we're feeling without kind of being afraid of emotional repercussions. But yeah, so we'll end it here at an hour and 38 minutes.
Yeah, about.
All right, so it's I guess this is Aaron and Josh signing off.
Thank you for listening to this episode. Cut it out. And if you cut yourself,
thank you for listening to my thank you for listening to my lecture.
Thank you for listening to Josh. It was a good time. Pack your bags. Make sure to take notes. Come back to this episode because we know you love our show so much.
We know you love us and hate us.
By the way, fans, the first episode hasn't even been edited together as we're recording this. I'm like maybe 20 minutes in. Not even. Actually.
Yeah, it's fine. You know, we'll it'll be released at some point.
Oh, yeah.
At some point.
I said I would put the first episode out when they fade away, but I just extended the deadline.
It's fine. But yeah. Again, and if this does get somewhat popular, I'll be that guy and just be like, you know, leave a comment. I'll be that.
We'll drop a link to our
ring the bell, and don't forget to subscribe.
Please donate to our Patreon. If you donate to our Patreon, we'll have question and answers.
Yeah, we'll have a fan Q&A on Reddit.
Shit, I'm not making a Reddit. You can do that. I don't even have an account.
I made a Reddit when I was like fucking like in like 9th grade or something like that, and my friend was really into Reddit at the time, and he's like, yo dude, make a Reddit account, it's fucking cool. And I made a Reddit account, and this is back when because this was like back in like 2012. I was like really into like shit like meme base and stuff like that, and he's like, yeah dude, all the good memes are on R Funny. And so that's why I made the Reddit account, and then I like got bored of Reddit.
Oh, I thought you said you made your own subreddit or something.
Oh
Like
no,
you were
fuck
just
no,
like
I'm
super
not.
into Planet Sheen or some shit, and
Dude, I kind of want to know. Is there a Planet Sheen subreddit already? If not,
I
I'm
mean,
gonna
I'm
make
pretty
it.
sure it's like variations of one.
Subreddit.
I am Sheen.
Why was Planet? It's just there's just like an R Nickel. Oh no, okay, there is
Oh
one. There's an
yeah.
R Planet Sheen subreddit. That's pretty fucking sick, dude.
Hey
Last
Jimmy,
post was 1 month ago.
have
Uh,
you seen my Ultra
56,
Lord figure?
56 members of the Planet Sheen
Only
subreddit.
fit. Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
We should
it's a
hear that,
niche.
guys.
We'll blow it up.
Let's hey, cut it out, fans. Let's show that subreddit some love. Say cut it out with Aaron and Josh send me here.
Yeah. Cactus Jack sent me.
Oh no, don't finish your sentence, Josh.
All right. Yeah, that's about it. Thank you all millions of fans for watching.
That was episode 3. Thanks for chilling out with us. We'll catch you next time, and you'll catch us. But please, please, don't take the bad from us. We got some bad stuff to say sometimes.
Yeah.
Don't do the things that I do. All right, I think I can put it down now. I think my conscience is clean.
All right.
I'm a press stop.